All right, it is now 5:30 on Tuesday, June 9th. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Morgantown Utility Board. Go ahead and start with approval of the meeting minutes for our May 12th meeting.
I move to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of May 12th, 2026 as submitted.
I'll second that motion.
All right, any corrections, scrivener's errors to be made on that? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Brings us down to our public portion. I do not see any members of the public here, but do we have any communications? Looks like you got a nice little thank you card.
Yes, Jay Moore, he manages our lift station maintenance program. His wife works for the Marion County School System, and we participated in their getting the program to get children ready for preschool. And it was a Touch a Truck Day, and so we volunteered one of our dump trucks to go down and let the kids sit in the dump truck and kind of look around a little bit. So they sent us a nice thank you card for our participation. We appreciate Jay taking care of that for us.
That's great. And that handwriting looks very much like an elementary school teacher's handwriting. That's fantastic. Any other notes or communications from the public?
No.
Go down to new business. We have annual budgets, fiscal year ending June 30 of 2027.
So I'm going to turn this portion of the meeting over to our comptroller, Chip Royce. Chip and Pam are our lead folks on developing the budgets for the fiscal year. So with that, Chip, take it away.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys meeting tonight to review the budget. And I know that we met earlier and discussed the various for the water and the sewer and the cheat and the stormwater. And I was curious if you have any concerns about that, about the budget we are proposing. Again, we're proposing a 3% COLA increase. And our medical insurance, we have Plan C, which is high deductible. It did go up on the average of about a 3% for all of our employees. And also our liability insurance, we're meeting with USI next week to get the firm quote on our insurance increase. We put in there a 10% to be safe, and we're going to go with West Virginia Core more than likely. Hopefully that's what USI Jeffrey Gage comes over and talks to us. We're meeting on the 18th to get a firm amount for that. But it's already put in the budget for the highest amount that we did get back from Jeff. I don't know if you have any concerns about the budget or questions since we met last week.
I was looking for a list of the capital projects electronically, but I don't have a copy of the budget electronically.
We did not add a copy of those into that, but Rich can discuss those projects with the board this evening of what we have lined up. Two of the most prominent projects would be the Central and South Mont Interceptor cleaning and the Deckers Creek Lift Station cleaning. Those are our highest two capital expenses we are going to propose right now. But Rich, I'm going to go ahead and turn that segment over to you to talk about capital projects.
Sure. There's a lot of them. I don't know if you want a list of them, but I have it in front of me.
Okay.
You do.
Great.
So starting with water, we have a replacement of our Laurel Point tank, replacing a water line in front of BFS in Saperton. That has given us some fits over the last couple of years. We have two water line replacement projects, one on Jersey Avenue from Newport to Albany, and we have one on Huntington Avenue. Another water line replacement project on East End, and those are in front of city paving. That's scheduled for the next summer. We have water line replacement on Point Marion and West Run, and then a couple of tie-ins that will help our system out in the Canyon Road area, one on Canyon and one on Coos Farm. So that's just strictly MUB project part of the capital budget. On the sewer side, sanitary side, Mike mentioned a couple of the maintenance projects that we have. We have the South Lawn and Central Lawn cleaning that he talked about. We also are doing a cleaning of the Westover Interceptor, using their funds to do that. It's an interceptor that also needs a bunch of cleaning done to it. A lot of debris and sediment in that one that we need to get out of there. We also are starting our Coben Creek Phase 2 project that starts in White Park, a little corner of White Park where we finished Phase 1, which was kind of through White Park, and then it goes across Don Knotts and up the rail trail to our lift station down there by the water plant. That should kick off any time in the next couple of weeks. So that's a big project that's on here.
And we've looped in Bow Park on all that.
We have agreements. So we've sent agreements for both of those with City Bow Park.
Rich, are those capital projects you just mentioned, are they all part of the pages, I think 4 and 5 of the water budget?
I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, under there's a line that says MUB projects,
Right.
and these are the projects that make up those totals on that.
Okay.
Yeah, all of those capital items that Rich is reading off are already within the budget right now. On page 4 and 5 of the water and the sewer and the storm. And so they are already included.
Where it says MUB-funded projects, that's for 2027 post budget, $2,245,000.
Get to that page there, Rich. Yes. Yeah. That is the area that they will show up in. Correct.
I'm going to keep going down the list. And so we have a little bit of a replacement on Doug Hill and Lastravia. There's a section that's kind of in the stream that needs some work. We're doing, the city's doing a project on Richwood, the retaining wall on Richwood, and we have, we're going to replace our line that is associated with that.
It's under the sidewalk there that
Start
talking about.
start kind of right below the wall, and then they're replacing the manhole and a new line up here. That's part of that. We do as part of the Central Mon Interceptor cleaning. There will be a lining section that's not maintenance. That's capital. So it would be about a 70-foot section of that would need a line to fix the leak that's occurring on the Central Mon. Greenbag Road force main replacement. So what's going on out here close to the office now? They've moved from water to force main, and so that will be a new force main that will get our old force main out of White Park, and it will now run up Greenbag and then tie into Coben Phase 1 that we've already got finished. And so it'll kind of get rid of that old force main that runs through White Park, and so we'll have all new force main. And they're doing that as part of their contract. Their contractor is doing that work for us, and then we will reimburse them for that new work that we want done for free. And so we'll have to, that's in our capital. Plus we have our sewer lining program that we've been doing the last couple of years, focusing in on Standard Street area. And we've done a lot of cleaning and TV work over there already. We kind of understand what needs lined and what's in good shape and not so good shape. And so we have a pretty large budget of about $500,000 slated for lining in that area. And that is a it's fixing manholes, but also doing some point repairs, whether it's roots or a section that's collapsed, and so there'll be a lot of work over that way, and that'll be a full separation of sewer and storm in that area. So we've done that now in a couple of different areas, and that's our plan going forward is just to kind of find the next area that needs work and continue doing that. Lining has been pretty successful for us so far. So I like how that's going.
Was there a time, I apologize for interrupting all this, was there a time a few years back we talked about looking at investing in our own stuff for lining, or was it just decided that contracting, and it was decided that contracting it out was more cash efficient, or am I just completely making that up?
We did talk about it some, whether or not it would be beneficial, but because of the cost, and it's better to just contract it out, because it's kind of it was one, hiring the additional people, incurring those expenses, and then all the equipment. It's just easier to contract it out.
So the number of times we do it in a year, it's not necessarily worth it to have full-time staff if that's what they do.
Hey, I'm Rich. Underneath that MUB funded, you also see where we've talked about we're purchasing 7 vehicles. We're purchasing some computer equipment, various things like that are also capitalized that are MUB funded in that same section.
So moving to storm, there's several projects in storm, and I'm just going to get down through. Typically, a storm is replacement of an inlet or a culvert, adding some additional line to connect the system, replacing some failing stuff. So Burwood, South Point Circle, Northwest Avenue. We have a project on Willowdale at Junction and Stewart. 4th Street, Apollo Drive, and then Eastern Avenue. So we have some smaller projects on storm in those areas.
I recall seeing some budget allocation for the pump station down at Deckers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about $250,000.
$250,000.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to do some work there to get into part of the station because we have to do a pump around. So that's a big part of the cost is we have to do a pump around the station and then get in to clean the station.
Yeah. Okay.
Those budgets, typically with lift stations, those budgets are done by our wastewater plant.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is the reason I didn't have
It's outside of capital, right?
So yeah.
Well, no, it'll be capitalized
capitalized
because of the amount will
Okay.
dictate that. But these guys will. So our plant, Chris Linger, our manager of treatment and production. So it's his team will put that number together for us because they'll lead that project with some assistance from engineering. So we draw from all divisions within MUB to help develop the budget.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Same way with booster stations on the water side. There's some work that we're going to do, small stuff in some stations throughout the year too, and that budget's put together by John Smarka and his group.
Yeah, those are those lists that I gave out. They listed all the roof repairs and various
Kind of
pumps
division
being replaced.
specific or whatever the nomenclature is for how the organization.
Yeah, so we'll have Chris Linger is the manager, and and Ernie Utter, he's chief operator at Star City, but also oversees Cheat Lake, and then John Smarka oversees he's chief operator at the water treatment plant. So their teams, they like the water boosters come out of under John's group, lift stations, Ernie's group, and then that information flows up to Chris, and then Chris to us to discuss and talk about. So we try to put everything we can that everybody's list of things they want to accomplish, and but at the end of the day, you accomplish what you can afford.
Right.
So some things may fall off, but I feel pretty good about Deckers Creek being taken care of this year. I think Jamie told me she wanted me to do it on a Friday night in July.
And I will say on the water side too, other than the city paving projects, which we will do, that priority list can change throughout the year as well. If we have multiple leaks that happen back to back, something may jump up and take the place of
I get
those things. And so,
Yeah, like say a sewer on Deckers Creek.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that sort of took over everything for last year, for the year we're in actually, or the current fiscal year. No one expected that.
So it should have started out that this is, Rich brought this up here, that this is a $45 million budget that we work with across the board for the water and the sewer from our revenues. So
And how much of that is debt service, Jim?
I have to add that up real quick.
But our debt service is about 1.15 per month.
Per month. Yeah,
So,
1.15
million a month.
per month.
So, obviously, a huge part of our budget goes to debt service.
Yeah, it goes to that. Then we have labor, and it's very expensive.
So 13.8, so about 45, so about a quarter of the,
Yep.
a little over a quarter of the budget. So,
Yes.
And then electricity would fall in as one of our largest, very largest expenses. And, that's not going to go anywhere but up.
we should offer a trade to Mon Power for some water.
Get the water system.
Yeah.
The water system.
Water.
Okay. All right, I'll take that in consideration.
I really should indicate when I'm being sarcastic.
It'll be reflected in the minutes.
Yeah, please don't reflect that in the minutes.
I can
Or
see
it says
tomorrow's
something
headline.
stupid.
Put it in italic.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Just to mention, when Rich mentioned the Laurel Point tank, this is why we have the elevated tanks in the Phase 1 water projects, because they're just too much to include as a budget item.
So we had some discussion on it, but we want to get a motion. We can do that and have some more questions and answers.
I move to approve the water, sewer, G-Lake sewer, and stormwater budgets for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027, and to authorize the general manager to execute the agreement with lowest cost insurance carrier with the best coverages as recommended by our insurance consultant, USI.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got the motion and the second. Any further discussions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the 2020 or the fiscal year 27 budget, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, sirs. And now, after agreeing to spend some money, we're going to talk about saving some money.
Oh,
Well, it may be. So, Greg Isaacs with Carty, Harding, and Hearn Incorporated Investment Brokers contacted us with an opportunity to refund the Series 2016A bonds. I included a copy of the refunding summary in all of your packets. But we're just, we'll begin the process if the board approves us to move forward.
Could you explain a little, before we get to the motion, I heard a little bit about it previously, that the thought is doing this refi would save us a significant dollar amount in the 7 figures.
You want to talk a little bit about that, Jeff? You have that in
So, according to Greg, based on his calculations, there's an opportunity to present value by saving about $3.5 million by essentially refinancing, refunding, they call it, essentially refinancing at a lower interest rate, which is And he recommends at least getting a 3% savings to make it worthwhile financially.
So,
And his numbers, when we got them a month or so ago, was at 3.8%. But the market's pretty volatile, so he recommended to put a floor on that at least 3%.
so
Given that we're refinancing for $46 million, the fees for all the people who will be involved are rather significant.
Yeah, right. We have the fees broken out? I'm not seeing them immediately.
There's just a line item that he estimates that was on the first page of that summary about $570,000.
Yeah, there it is, cost of issuance.
Yeah.
Do you know what the effective interest rate is currently on the bonds that are outstanding and average over the terms?
I do not off the top of my head, John, no.
It's hard for me to believe that interest rates are going to go down anymore. In fact, if anything, they're going to be going up through the end of this year, I suspect.
I think it's on the 34th page. It looks like it's about 5%.
So we'll be lucky to catch the window, probably. Right?
So we don't have a motion on the floor yet, but what the proposed motion would allow us to move forward, not lock us in to doing something if the volatility makes it not something worth our while.
That's correct.
And only move forward on the advice of Greg if it's 3% more.
Yeah. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Do we have a motion to test those waters?
I motion to authorize the general manager to pursue partial refunding of the Series 2016A bonds, provided the net present value meets the typical savings target of at least 3%.
I second.
Any further questions? When we expect to, at the next meeting, move forward again, or what do we?
We'll certainly reach out to Greg tomorrow. Tell him to get started and see where the market's at.
I noticed in the packet there was a date of sometime in September on it. So we're looking about 90 days to go through this process.
Probably 9 days.
Just
We need cooperation with City Council.
Party that's your bond council?
Yes, typically technically the city issues the bonds, and the city will retain bond counsel, which is usually Tom Heyman and Steptoe Johnson.
Did you say that Tom
Heyman, yes, A-M-A-N.
Yeah, he just wanted to see.
Well, you taught him well. He's very. I don't think there's a bond issuance in the state that he didn't have something to do with.
I know, he's trusted.
All right. So motion on the floor. Any other questions? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Just a technical question. We've asked this, so we will be in touch with Greg. And nothing goes to City Council until we have the formal proposal with the actual schedules from Greg that would be issued, correct?
Yes.
Acceptance of bids for chassis cab with truck. Sorry, can I read this again? Acceptance of bid for chassis cab truck with service body.
Yes. So we were fortunate enough to find another electrician. So we have 3 electricians on staff now, which we're very pleased because Joe was working himself to death in Lincoln. So now we've got 3 qualified electricians, and this truck will be for our newest electrician. And so we put out the bids, and on May 21st, we opened the bids, and the lowest qualified bidder was Whiteside of St. Clairsville in the amount of $68,800 for a 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 HD 4-wheel drive double cab.
Before I ask for a motion, looking at bids. You mentioned third electrician's already started. While this is the lowest price, it has a delivery of 150 days, whereas significantly higher price, $6,000 extra, we get a truck next week. Is that something that
We're comfortable with waiting for the $6,000. We have a truck for him to work out of, and so he's got a truck now. It's a pickup truck. It doesn't have all his tools yet, we don't buy all the tools at one time. We kind of space that out over. Joe oversees the purchase, so the 150 days, and we think it'll be quicker than that anyway. From talking to him about it, so that was just in their bid. So
okay?
we were okay with it.
Yeah, so if it was the second lowest, which was only about $1,000 more.
That'd be
That
would be different.
Yeah, that one's actually longer days.
I had a minor question though. We couldn't get it in red. It's going to be white.
So the other electrician trucks are in white,
Oh,
and
they
they
are.
wanted
Okay.
this stay in the same color pattern.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Westside and Hireville in the amount of $68,800 for 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 HD 4-wheel drive double cab.
All right, in case that was a little too quiet, I'll repeat the motion. Motion to accept the bid for Whiteside of St. Clairsville in the amount of $68,800 for a 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 HD 4-wheel drive double cab. We have a second bid.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all. Now, August Board of Directors meeting.
So our August meeting falls on the same date as the West Virginia Rural Water Conference is going on, and Rich and I and Jeff will all three be there on that date, and we were wondering if we could possibly reschedule that. It's currently on the 11th as our board meeting day. Let's see if that might work for the board of directors.
Do you have a suggested date to move it to?
No, I do not.
And so if we move it to Tuesday, that's pretty much impossible because then we put it on a city council regardless of which Tuesday. Is that right, Mark?
Yes.
So let's not do that.
How about Wednesday the 19th?
I have a partnership board of directors meeting that day.
What about August 5th?
I'm available if you all are.
I may be gone. I don't know at this point. I'm trying to take a vacation.
Well, you can call in. Does that work for you, Mark?
Yes. Looks like it works for me.
Rich, we're talking Wednesday, August 5th. Is that something that works for you?
Week that, the first week of August, I was down again. So I have to call in.
I can call in if I'm out of town.
Okay. Well, also, I'll tell you what. It sounds like we have an agreement that we're fine with moving it off that Tuesday. We still have the July meeting between now and then, plenty of time to advertise it. Let's shoot around some emails, and we'll find a date that works for everybody. And so we can have people in. Let's have people in. If we have to go telephonic or Zoom, we can do that. But we'll have a fun with email. All right. Old business, Van Horst Sewer Extension Project.
So, Thrasher Engineering, they're continuing with the existing system evaluation and project design. The current schedule has permits being submitted in September and plans and specs finalized in January.
Office expansion and renovation and new shop garage.
So we're still at the 80% of drawings. Those were the drawings that were provided to the board at the Lunch and Learn last Tuesday. We still have some communication going on with the water system design in the shop garage, and I believe that Amy has completed her evaluation of which of the furniture that is going to stay and be part of the new building and what we're going to need for the expansion.
Any questions? Shoot Lake Wastewater Treatment Plant Upgrade Project.
So the project has officially passed the 50% completion milestone with the most recent pay applications. So we're very pleased with that. Masonry has been completed on the exterior of the new Headworks building and is beginning on the administration building. The new oxidation ditch passed the water test and is currently being backfilled around perimeter. The top slab of the return activated sludge structure has been poured and electrical work is ongoing at the new generator pad location. So a lot of progress, and if you've been by, they reseeded the hillside and it's green now, and I think we're just Rich, I'd make a comment about that we're very close to the stream opening up now.
I think the caveat to that before we do open up the stream is that the DEP had to sign off on that slope being stabilized, which basically is vegetated. They've agreed that has occurred, and so we're close to opening up Kelly Mountain. I don't think that's happened yet.
Yeah,
and that's a key thing because once we get that opened up, then we can get rid of that the pipe that now takes Kelly Run and do all the work that's supposed to go on right where that pipe is. So that will open up a big area for us to start.
it looks very nice out there. And the contractor's doing an excellent job keeping the road clean.
Yes.
Phase 1 water projects.
So the phase 1 water projects, we are expecting to have our completed PER from our preliminary engineering report from Strand Associates in July.
Will that give us cost estimates that we can move forward with, or does that just kind of get us to the point?
Yes, that will be the document we can use to go forward with funding applications with the Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council.
With that, timing wise, also work out for going to council, save time on the refund on the bonds and that.
That I don't know, because with the refund, just because of when you have to trigger versus when we'll be ready for IJDC and moving ahead on it could be different.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it works out. We'll try to make it work out, but it could be different.
Morgan Run waterline extension project.
The final design is ongoing, and we have some more permits we're waiting on, and we've got about 47% of the rights of way from residents, and I think we got a couple more today.
Yeah, I think Corey mentioned that we're up to 55%.
Okay, so with the ones we just received.
Central Mon sewer interceptor cleaning and repair.
So the company we work with on the bypass pumping, they showed up today with the pipe and the pumps, and so we're working with our staff. I think they're going to wrap that up maybe tomorrow. Is the goal, and Insight they're scheduled to be on site to begin the cleaning and TV work on June 16th. I would like to take just a moment, though, and recognize Ken Hacker, Jeremiah Johnson, Nick Shrewsbury, and Joey McDonald and his team for their excellent work in getting everything ready for the cleaning and repairs. It has been a tremendous undertaking to get everything prepared for this pump around. And also, I really appreciate the work of the city and helping us with the rail trail and getting that, because we have the rail trail closed at certain time during this period, and then we have a kind of a bypass there for people to walk around. But so it's a lot of folks involved, a lot of work.
Got a good team, good leadership on that team. Yes. General Manager's report.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the Laurel Point tank. The design is still ongoing. Thrasher's preliminary set of plans and specs are in hand, and those are being reviewed, and there will be comments submitted back to Thrasher. Okay, the Coben Creek Interceptor Phase 2. We are waiting the project schedule from Parada. We expect that any day. We were informed that they did tell us, though, they are kind of looking at of getting some things moving this week, hopefully. But we still haven't received the project schedule, but we have sent a notice to proceed to the city engineer's office, just so they're aware that Parada's going to be showing up. But the first step would be to construct a bore pit and perform a pilot hole from the Moses car dealership over. So that's where the big excavation will go. Will be on the car dealer side.
And because I know right there, it looks like because it used to just be one dealership group. Now it's multiple. Is it just on the Moses side, or is it also been on the Mercedes side?
Just on the Moses side.
Okay. Just want to make sure that we have the communication we need with both owners.
The Lower Pocono project, Thrasher has provided their draft report with their evaluation and findings and recommendations. Staff has reviewed that report, and we've communicated several questions and comments that we would like to have addressed, and we expect to see another version sometime this month. And that's all that I have this evening.
Any questions on the general manager's report? Board member issues and discussions. Anything the board would like to bring up?
I have one item. I've been contacted by the city clerk's office who informed me that my term on the Morgantown Utility Board expires in October, and wishing to determine if I'm interested in applying for the position, and if so, attaching an application form. After a lot of deliberation, I've decided I'm not going to apply for reappointment to the board, but I am hoping that there'll be well-qualified men and women from outside the city of Morgantown, in accordance with what we have as an expectation, to apply and be considered by city council.
Sorry to hear that you're not reapplying, Tom. It's been I've really enjoyed working with you. You're the one that encouraged me to apply for this position.
Yeah.
And one of the first people I met when I moved to Morgantown. I've been a board member of multiple organizations that I worked for, and now really enjoyed the last 5 years working alongside you here.
I'll be here until October.
Yeah, and then we'll find you outside inspecting the water tower getting painted and the
In Greystone, I'm going to be straw boss there. And you may find some public representatives finally showing up for the public portion of the meeting.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm interested in how the downstream engagement with on MS4 is going. at some point in the future, when appropriate, I'd be interested in getting some insight into that.
The partnership is working wonderful.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no
They're-
doubt.
We
I want to glean some insight into what they're recommending, how they're kind of viewing things, since that's an emergent area. So I'm curious, and I think there's opportunity for the city and MUP to work together on that. Will do. Thanks.
Anything else for board member issues and discussions? That brings us to executive session.
I move to convene an executive session of the Board of Directors under the provisions of West Virginia Code, Section 6-9A-4B12, to discuss confidential matters which are exempt from disclosure under the West Virginia Freedom of Information Act and during the meeting immediately upon conclusion.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 We are